too. So what got you interested in Overwatch coaching?
Uh, well, I do a couple of little tournaments,
Hmm.
like community tournaments, and I just want to get better,
Sure.
pretty much,
Okay.
to
Okay.
play with my friends. They're more GM level,
Yeah,
and I'm
makes sense.
Masters.
Makes sense. How long you been playing the game?
Since it came out.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That's that's quite a long time. And you are Masters, Diamond, somewhere around there, DPS player.
Yeah.
So how long you been DPS train?
Um, maybe 3 years,
Nice,
but
nice.
I've been mostly playing pretty casually for most of my time playing. It's only like these past couple of years that I've been actually like trying to improve.
Interesting, interesting. Now, is that coincided with you, the friends that you were saying that are more higher ranked than you?
Yeah, I mostly met them from tournaments and stuff.
Okay, okay, okay. Makes sense. So is it mostly that kind of prompted the more competitive inspiration, or was there something else as well that kind of kicked you in the pants to try a little harder?
Mostly that.
Okay, makes sense, makes sense. And how's your stay been since you've actually applied yourself?
Um, Not too bad. I mean, I did have like a little bit of like tank play when Overwatch 2 first came out, but now I'm back to DPS
Okay,
like these past couple of seasons.
okay, okay. So why the bouncing around? Why DPS in particular? Why the tank? And then why back to DPS?
Uh, it's I mean, I put to play for tank when I got drafted for the team, but it
Okay.
was like, we had multiple tanks, so it's just kind of like what the team needs. I flex between tank or DPS.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Now, what kind of situation is this? Like, what kind of tournament is this?
It's a like uh, do you know actually, I don't think you would know BPL. It's the Bad Pachimari League,
I'm aware of
but
it. Yeah, I'm aware of it.
yeah, it's that one. So
I mean,
it's
I'll try not hold it against you that you're associated with Bad Pachimari, but besides that, it's all right.
well, I will not speak on the league. I
Yeah.
might be banned.
Oh
Anyways,
no. Oh,
don't worry.
disaster.
Uh,
Disaster. Okay. Okay. I assume it was aim hacks or you getting too many kills per 10 or something like that.
yeah, it was definitely that one. Definitely that.
Okay.
hmm
Well, so where are you at right now in terms of your training? Are you still with the team, with a team, or is this more of a ranked grind goal right now?
So we just lost losers finals
Uh huh.
yesterday.
Ouch. Sorry
So,
to hear that. So now
but
what for you?
but that's the furthest I've gone. I'm gonna go to a different league called Tranquility
I've heard of it. Yep.
in their trance tier, which
Mhm.
is like masters and above, I think.
Mhm.
So I'm
DPS.
gonna be trialing for a couple of teams on DPS.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now it's interesting for you because on the forum you said more. Okay. If I'm speaking strictly to just you, not what the team needs. What's your favorite role? Do
It,
you have a favorite role?
I think it's DPS. It
Okay.
it kind of depends on the meta. Playing tank right now kind of blows for me. I don't
Okay.
like the tanks.
Okay. Okay. So you are definitely not a bully to different roles based off what the team is. You really are kind of on the fence to this. And even in your forum, your goal, at least as of a month ago, was to get Grandmaster on all roles. So you were just like kind of broadly sweeping it here.
Yeah,
Okay, makes sense.
but,
Makes
but I think
sense.
I want to focus a little bit more on DPS.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been
And,
feeling a lot better on it.
okay, makes sense. And I do think that like ignoring the obvious that like if a meta for tank feels bad, then it's going to be harder to grind that tank. I'm always of the opinion that applying yourself to like any one thing will help you when you decide to take a break and apply yourself to tank.
Yeah, definitely.
Excuse me. Okay, so right now you're applying yourself to DPS, and it seems like it's mostly projectile with some flankers sprinkled in there. So
Yeah.
at least as of right now, where are you at with that? Like, what are your top two or three?
Right now it's Tracer and May are my top DPS. Mostly like May, Sombra, and I think Torb were
Huh.
like my main heroes.
Huh. Okay. Okay. What
It's
appeals to you about
Echo
those
and
heroes?
Tracer now.
Just unique, or?
I don't know. It's just fun. I love playing Mei. May's so
Welcome
good.
to the club. I'm a big Mei fan as well. I was not a Mei fan in Overwatch 1, but some
Very
about
big.
Overwatch 2, it clicks. I get you. Probably my favorite DPS to play actually right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like there's so much more dynamics of what you could do with her wall, you know? You could just like do anything you want with it, you know? And that right click is so satisfying to land. Like, oh, jeez. So nice. Yeah. Okay, so your goal now is just to improve your overall level of DPS. Is there a couple of heroes that are a priority for you? You told me which ones you play the most, but like which ones do you feel like I need to get better, or I would like to improve at these two? What would they be?
I think I don't know. I always feel pretty good on my Mei. A lot of the Mei stuff is not really like it's not mechanics related at all for me on Mei.
Uh-huh. Okay. So
It,
it's more of
that's
like game sense.
that, that's mostly like team play type stuff.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense.
And
So it's more
then
like figuring out like your role with the walls and how to use Blizzard and positioning and stuff like that.
yeah, I
Okay.
think my blizzards are probably my weakest on Mei.
To be fair, it is kind of hard to use that in Overwatch 2. There's one less fat target in Freeze. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. All right. So, what are you doing training wise right now? How often? How much do you play?
Right now, let's see. I've been playing. Let me see. What was my last season? I have 75 games won last season, season 4. So I do about maybe like 2 hours of like game time with like in between breaks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 2 sets of 2 hours a day
Okay. It's a
is what
total
I'm
of
doing
4.
right now.
Yeah, that's more than enough to get you to Grandmaster.
Mm-hmm.
More than enough. And how long has that been the case?
Um,
More of a recent development, or it's been something you've been applying at for a while?
I think these past like 4 seasons. Yeah,
Okay.
since
And where were you rank wise when you started this like more serious approach?
let's see, I was more like diamond to plat.
All
I
right,
would
so
like go
you've
in
jumped the
between.
rank, right? Um,
Yeah.
at least like overall. So why have you not jumped more? That's my question. Maybe it's the role swapping, but if you had to like guess as to why you've been, I mean, you're playing 4 hours a day almost, right, for like several months, and one rank climb is well, it's decent, but it's not that impressive, right? So
Yeah.
why do you think that is? Is it the role swap? Is it something else? Just haven't been taking it as seriously despite the time? What do you know?
Yeah, I think despite the time, yeah, it hasn't been as serious.
Okay. Okay.
Like not as like quality time.
Yeah, yeah. Now, is that by choice or is that just by happenstance? In other words, are you just enjoying just not being super sweaty, try hard, and like you're fine with that and you're like cool, slow improvement? Or has it been I've been kind of trying to apply myself, but I've just been kind of lazy, whether distracted or tilted or something else?
But I apply myself a little bit more specifically when I'm on a team,
Gotcha. More
because
of a
then
purpose.
I have like heroes that my team wants
Right,
to
right,
play. We have comps.
right,
We know a little bit of the meta, what we want to play.
right.
So I have like heroes to grind specifically.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that sort of external motivation probably definitely helps a little bit. Yeah, I guess I just asked because it's like if the answer is I want to get to Grandmaster in all roles, but you just have a hard time like really forcing yourself to like try hard all the time. It might just be that that's just not much of a priority if you're honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you might want to get better, and you might definitely be putting in the time to get to Grandmaster. It just might not be that that's something that's like you're super urgent with, and I don't really think there's anything wrong with that. So what I would do is I would take a look at like your team situation in between teams and be like, seriously, how serious am I at like really like putting in the focused hours right now? Because if you're really putting in the focused hours, 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever, serious, consistent rank, full focus, full energy with specific goals in mind. That's how you're going to improve. Now, what we'll do today is we'll give you goals to work on, but I can't like make you try harder in game. And I also don't
Yeah.
think that there's anything like necessarily virtuous about trying harder in a game. It's a video game, right? Who cares? So if you
I
want to get
mean,
better, that's what you need to do.
that's kind of a little bit of the thing for me is that like I don't get super tilted at the games
Yeah, of
because it's a video game at the end of the day.
course.
So I think that makes me take it not as serious,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
also, I don't want to like I don't want to get mad at the video game.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. You want to put expectations on yourself, like maybe to slowly improve, but like don't be unrealistic about it. And if it starts getting frustrating or maddening, then it's like, why are you here? I mean, I've had sessions with people that are so tilted at the game. I'm like, mate, the best advice I can give you is you're done. Like, don't play anymore.
I
Like this
mean,
is
I mean, I've liked Overwatch for 7 years now since it
yeah,
came out.
yeah.
If you don't like the game, stop playing.
Right, exactly. So you're doing something right with that mentality. Maybe it could just be a question of like, is there something that you don't understand in full, or there's some little things that you can clean up here and there to kind of get you a little bit more comfortably in Masters or in Masters on DPS or whatever, and then we'll cross that road about Grandmaster when we get there. We don't need to worry about it right now. Big thing I would say for you though is consistent training time, focused training time, making sure that you're not spreading yourself too thin, even on DPS, right? Like even if you're playing 4 hours a day, you really don't want to be playing more than like 3 heroes if you can, just so that you get at least 4 to 5 games per day on the hero that you need to practice. Everything is so unique to each hero, right? So if you're playing Mei, Echo, Sombra, Hanzo, Tracer, Torbjorn, even just 1 or 2 games per day of those heroes, you're going to spread yourself real thin. You can improve doing that, but it's not the most efficient way to doing things. So maybe that's something to look into as well. Sleep looks okay. 7 to 10 is a wee bit inconsistent. I think consistency there would be nice, a little bit more, but it's not bad. What do you feel is holding you back from improving mechanics mostly? As of a month ago, elaborate on that a little bit.
I'm just I've been a tank player for like most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like mechanics weren't that great at the beginning, and like the only thing I could really hit at all were May icicles for some reason.
Huh.
That's it's just they're too easy to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
There's something about that little pause that makes you like actually really
well,
put the effort in you.
you don't actually have to click on people's heads. You click and then you drag towards their head,
True. That's true.
and then it just happens.
True. That little
So
bit of delay. Yeah. Sure.
yeah, but mostly that, and I kind of play like not very mechanically intensive heroes when I was and have been playing on DPS,
Yeah.
which is like Mei, Sombra, and like Sim and Torb.
Makes
Just
sense.
I play mostly supporting like DPS
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
roles. I'm not really the star player
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
any
Not
time
not near
any
enough.
team
Not
I've
near
been
enough
on.
Adderall, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So maybe need to work on some of the mechanics. General tank macro. What do you mean
Yeah,
by that?
that's a little bit different since I was planning on playing tank.
Gotcha. Not as much of the on the table
Yeah,
necessarily.
and it was a Junker Queen meta.
Okay. And then I assume the
And
comms and scrims ties in with that as well.
yeah,
Okay.
that's a little bit more needed too.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Okay. So do you have any questions so far? Because I most of the form stuff is pretty much wrapped up.
No, not really. I don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay. So for you, I guess the main takeaway is maybe try to aim for a little bit more focused practice, maybe for a slightly tighter hero pool,
Hmm.
and then having specific goals to work on while you're playing. Just those 3 little details. See how it goes. I wouldn't necessarily do anything revolutionary. Okay. What are we looking at there? You got a replay code? You got a hero?
Yeah, I got a. I think we can do a. Let me see. Esperanza.
Sure.
Let me. Sure. Copy. Here. Oh, you want me to just DM it to you?
Yeah. If you want to, works for me.
I'll send you the replay code.
Works for me.
I think this is a May and then a little bit of Tracer at the end game.
Okay. Now is this is a scrimmage
Yes.
or a match or something?
This is a scrim. is
Okay.
Scrim code.
Okay. Give me a second here. Got it. Okay, so Masters or Diamond, excuse me, May, and you wanted to start with the May, or do you want to start with the Tracer?
We can start with the May.
Okay, sounds good. So, is there anything recently you've been working on with your May? Besides, not being left behind.
I told my team that I was going to the restroom. They did not listen. It's mostly team play stuff.
Okay, like what?
Like, it's wall timings. We weren't at this point in time. We weren't really sure what we should be doing like in the mirror specifically
Yep.
to our comp, because a lot of people were playing this comp,
Yep.
except with a Reaper instead of Soju.
Yep.
Like, we weren't sure if we wanted to wall first or like wall second
Okay.
and just break their wall and
Sure.
then play second.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
play slower.
Sure. Sure. So I can give you a little bit of insight onto this. So, because this is going to carry over into ranked as well. I mean, this is the key thing. Is it's the most important thing you could do when you're a team player is to find parallels between scrim and ranked, because the gaps aren't that big. When it comes to walling first or walling second, whoever uses their ability first, I think there's a lot of problems with this, right? For example, you're talking about Sombra. Should I go first on my hack, or should I go second after the enemy Sombra? Should I, if I'm playing Hanzo, should I try to peek the angle first, or Sonic first, or Sonic second? It doesn't matter. Use it the best of your ability, and then use it as often as you can. Time it with your team, and then let the rest take care of itself. So, for example, if you guys end up in a mirror, let's just say you guys ended up in like a mirror here, right? Don't worry about walling first or walling second. If your team is ready to push, wall. Go.
Yeah, just make sure the wall is good.
Yeah, just make sure the wall is good. So many people obsess with like the first or second thing. It doesn't matter. Just use the wall when it's good, and then that's all you need to worry about. The problem with walling first or walling second is when somebody tries to force the first wall, and because they're trying to go so fast, their team isn't ready to push, and so it ends up being a bad wall. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or the enemy May walls first, and she gets such a good May wall that, okay, here's a good example. You wall second, but you wall second because their May walls you off, and you can't wall for like 4 or 5 seconds, and then your tank basically dies. That might be another situation where walling second is bad, just because they got a good wall and got a lot of value out of it before you could do anything, right? You guys were on the back foot before you even looked to wall. It doesn't matter who walls first or walls second. Just get the most value out of it. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Now, all that being said, kind of irrelevant here. So, what do you do? Why do you wall? What does wall provide? Let's talk about what does wall provide.
I mean, break sight lines.
Sure, that's it right there. That's all you need to know about wall. That's all it does. Break sight lines. So, where could a wall be useful? Could a wall be useful to break this Cassidy sight line?
Yes.
Yes. Could a wall be useful to wall off, I don't know, this tank line right here, so that you could shoot the Cassidy or you could shoot the Tracer for free?
Yep.
Could a wall be used to wall off here so that you guys could rotate safely all the way to over here?
Yeah.
Could a wall be used when I see the Winston jumping me, I wall in front of me so that he can't land on me?
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Could a wall be used? He jumps in, the Ana starts to heal him, I'm going to wall them off and cut off the Winston's LOS, right? The answer is yes. The answers to all of these questions is yes, right? The question is are you going to see these opportunities as quickly as you can? I mean, honestly, sometimes I create a wall as cover. So sometimes I'll be like, all right, I'm going to set it as an off angle and like put some damage out, and somebody will be shooting me, and I'll just wall them off just for cover, like just extra like architecture to hide on so I can shoot safely, right? There are so many ways that you can use a wall. And the reason why that's important here is because guess what? Because it's not a mirror, you're not allowed to turn your brain off. You have to actually be creative with your wall, and I think this is something that a lot of mays get wrong. When you can't just wall off the enemy tank and push, most mays are like, oh boy, I don't know what to do, right? That's a problem, right? So looking at the situation right now, what do you think is the best use of your wall?
I mean, I
see 2 walls that I think could be reasonable here.
I'm thinking wall right where those little stairs are, to wall off the monkey
and the Kiri,
so they have to jump over.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's the first wall I was thinking of.
On the cast.
That's the first wall I was thinking of. What's the other option here?
I mean, just wall off the cast.
Sure, and then you focus the Kiryu Monkey, right? You
Yeah.
remove somebody from the battlefield. I think both of those are great. Let's find out what we do. Neither, right? Huge missed opportunity here. Huge missed opportunity. Even just to help your team make this rotation easier, it's free value, right? It's free value.
Yeah.
Now, it's not something that you look at this here and you're like, oh, I'm thankful that I saved my wall because this opportunity presented itself. There's not going to be a better opportunity for that, right? Use it. Nice. I also think the fun thing about Mei is target priority is super flexible. So you look at this here, as soon as that Cassidy drops, this is the correct target to be shooting. Why? Why aren't you shooting Monkey?
I mean, it's not.
It's
really
Monkey, right?
Yeah.
It's just not the most efficient use of your time. Now, if you could get close to Monkey, maybe get a slow, maybe. But even then, you know, like that one icicle on this Tracer, and she's gonna have to recall, right? That's huge value for your team, right? Kiriko is not really doing a whole lot. She's too far away, too hard to hit. Yeah, this is the right target. You know, instantly. By the way, you hit it there. You see that? Instantly recalled, right? And obviously getting the kill is nice too. Now, you're even now. So what are you thinking about wall now?
I'm gonna wall off, I think they're Ana and Cass here.
Right. And then what does that allow you to do?
I mean, ideally kill the monkey or the Kiri.
Right. You can't peek this right here safely. You'll get your head blown off. So the wall allows you to peek it and to do damage. A little bit slow there. I mean, the time to respond there was very fast. This is not a good wall. Why?
I mean,
are you creating a real split here?
It doesn't really do much.
No, he's just going to drop anyway. This isn't really a real split. They don't really have good sightlines to this guy anyway, right? So this wall doesn't accomplish much. You could do at this point in time, this would be where you would either have already used wall. By the way, if you're freezing a bubble, you're wasting your time. Just a good reminder. It's not old freeze anymore. Remember.
Yeah,
the DPS is terrible.
I've still got the bad habits.
I get it. I'm
so bad.
It really is terrible. It is terrible. Well, I don't know why they reworked it. They actually trashed the hero.
I liked it.
They actually trashed
so much better.
It had a reason, right? It was a good close range DPS. Had some slow. This new version is just embarrassingly bad for all parties involved. Have you ever frozen a diva? They can't get away. They literally cannot get away. And same thing with ball as well. Like, it's almost impossible to get away as a ball right now. So everybody's mad. Mei players are mad. Tank players are mad. Everybody sucks. Anyway, back to our thing at hand here. This is good. This is now, I know what you're doing here. This makes sense, correct? Because what is this going to do?
I mean, it's going to wall off his heels.
Correct, right. So then now you shoot bubble, or now you could even continue to shoot Kiriko through the thing here. Good. Very good. Good. So, needed to be a little bit faster and more decisive with our walls. Shocker there. The M1 habit needs to be broken. Mostly it so far. Okay. You have any questions so far?
No, not right now.
I don't know why they swapped Zarya. Okay. Well, that's gonna make things a lot more easy, I guess. Ooh,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, maybe he's a good Zarya player. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Because Winston's a lot more frustrating for. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. Now, by the way, just like a good note, this is fine, but just a general note for ranked and team play. Once you get this wall here, you don't have to push this. You personally.
Yeah.
Because what is this wall going to provide? Where's she gonna go? You know?
Yeah.
Nowhere, right? So you don't even need to walk on her to get value out of the wall. In fact, with the new freeze, you don't necessarily even get a huge benefit from it anyway, right? It's not like you're gaining in DPS here. So what I would do is I would wall, and because you might put yourself at danger by pushing here, just sit here and just shoot. Just shoot. Your RAM will take care of it, right? You're going to get a massive resource advantage anyway from this wall. Do you see this? You're going to get both bubbles off anyway. So then you just stand here, you drop wall, you keep shooting, and you've gotten both bubbles and Suzu from one wall.
Yeah.
And you don't even need to, like, right here, look at this. Oh, I have to ice block now, right? You didn't even need to ice block, right? Like, what about that was from your mouse 1 freeze? Almost 0, right? Almost 0. In fact, you could have done arguably more with your mouse 2 at that point in time. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Case in point.
That's yeah.
You have,
I saw
and
that one
this is the
coming.
case in RAM mirrors, especially because I don't know if you've noticed this in your organized play, but like ice block is probably the most important cooldown in the brawl trade. I mean, ignoring ice wall obviously, because you are actually like bad teams will focus RAM, good teams will focus Mei. And if you've noticed in like Overwatch League and stuff, Meis have to play super cautious because these tanks are so much more beefy. And so you can't just run and wall and kill the tank. It doesn't work. You got to be super careful, especially when ults are online. You kind of see what I'm saying? So what you could do is you can kind of see here like a classic example of that, where you're like, oh, just run in. That's Overwatch 1 Mei. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's a good wall.
Yeah.
Just don't press W there.
I've been walling from like a lot further away more recently now. In like Overwatch 2.
Yeah, it just puts you so much more at risk, you know?
Just to like get out.
Or go ahead.
Just to like get out like cooldowns and then like win the fight later.
Right, exactly.
Instead of like insta kill someone.
Right.
Because like with a diva with 2 tanks, anything you wall off is fucking dead.
Oh, 100%. Especially with, I mean, remember, guy, Reinhardt had 500 HP.
Oh, no.
You know? And you could freeze people, like legitimately freeze people. Like that's not really the case anymore. Okay, just get out. Fine. Probably should just back a little further anyway, but it doesn't really matter. It's especially important, by the way, when like ults come online. Like they're about fixing to come on to like high noon, Curie ult. Maybe they have closer to grab Sojourn ult, Nano. If you get your ice block force because you're pushing a tank, and then they press an ultimate, you know, sayonara, right? You're cooked, right? You be really careful. So I see 3 walls here. One of which is probably unreasonably difficult. 2 of which are still reasonably good. Give me those 3 walls and tell me which one you prefer.
I mean, I could do vertical wall along here and cut off their heals.
So like, what do you mean vertical wall?
Vertical wall across the you know where that little gap is?
Oh, like right here.
There's Arya's left.
Oh, yeah, you could. Probably a little bit too difficult, but it's possible. I mean, maybe it's not too difficult. That's doable. Sure. Yeah. What else could you do?
Horizontal wall, cut off the Ana cast.
Yep, just wall off here, right? So you guys could not get shot while you're pushing these guys, right? What else could you do? The same wall, but the opposite side, right?
Yeah.
Wall here, so you guys can rotate out this direction. So for me, obviously you have the advantage of, in teams, knowing what your team wants to do. If this is ranked play, just do whatever you want and make your team react to it. What do you think is the one that you would go for? Would be optimal?
Let's see. I'd probably go for the easiest one, which is basically cut off the Ana cast.
Yeah, I think so too.
Round.
I think so too. I think that vertical wall is a really good shout. I didn't even think about that one. I was thinking about maybe you could get like a horizontal wall split, but that feels like almost impossible. But yeah, I think just like walling off these guys here and then just W king. You not W king, but just even just shooting, right? It's a 5v2, you know? You're gonna lose that. You're gonna win that trade. Either these guys are gonna drop or they're gonna back off, and then there you go, right? So let's see what you do. Oops, that is the wrong POV.
Let's see if I wall.
But you wait, right? You wait. You don't necessarily like. I don't think it's bad that you wait. Like really, truly, I don't think that it's bad that you wait. Because you find an opportunity, but only wait if you feel like you're going to get an opportunity in the next 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, I just thought I could wait there because there's 2 people. They're not going to stay on the high ground there.
And for example, if you look at the situation here, here's another way of looking at it. Okay, pretend this Ana Cassidy. Now, obviously, if this Ana's a little bit better, you might have wished that you'd walled, right? I mean, I see this here, and I'm frothing at the mouth.
Oh, that's a
that's a 5-man ante, right? So obviously, you didn't get punished for this, but okay, whatever. Let's say this is an Ashe, you know? Let's say this is a Zenyatta, you know? Something to kind of consider. Anytime where you feel like you're vulnerable to a certain sightline, that's when the sightline's cut off. But if this is if this is a mirror, for example, if this was a mirror, this is like Moira Lucio, then I would definitely not wall here.
I
So
mean,
what's a
yeah,
Moira
it's
Lucio
like
gonna do?
it's like if there was a Widow there, obviously,
Yeah, 100%.
I would wall there like immediately.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But yeah, I think your idea of the correct wall there was probably worth doing, just because, and they didn't end up punishing it. So then this wall is fine too. I think that Blizzard's probably fine. No way that she gets out. The wall's too good. Yeah. You don't always have to wait for bubbles if you see just a massively powerful Blizzard. And the other thing that you probably noticed about Blizzard too is that it's not the end of the world. Nice shot. It's not the end of the world if it just forces bubbles or cooldowns, right? It's not optimal, but if you're like having a hard time getting cooldowns out, just use a Blizzard. It's fine. Maybe because they scatter like flies too, right? So like you're gonna be able to get value off of that too. Now here I would stop shooting Zarya if I were you. Even just to force bubbles, yeah, thank you. Because one icicle and cast, much better value. Now what should you do with wall here? Pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
Wall Zarya, shoot Zarya. Don't push, shoot Zarya. Yeah. Yeah, I see. You see? You see? You
Yeah.
see? It's like you're drooling out of your mouth. I can see it, you know? Your IQ just dropped by like 50 points. Because think about this. The funny thing is even for what you're trying to do, it's bad. Because you're thinking like, oh, I wanna force this Zarya as well as get her. You know what would be better? Mouse 2.
Yeah, there's just better ways to do that.
Right. You're not even reaching her with your mouse 1 spray right now, you know? So like what's the point? I mean, you could even wall off Zarya here and be like, yo, I know what this Sojourn and Kiriko are gonna do. They're gonna try and peek over the wall, and you just pre-icicle this right here. Right? They're all, look at this.
Yeah.
You couldn't miss this if you tried, right? Like you just throw an icicle there, it's gonna hit somebody in the head, right? So you could wall off somebody to bait other people to walk forward around the wall. There's all sorts of things that you can do with this. This is why I like comboing wall with Blizzard, because they'll walk forward, you drop wall Blizzard right here, and you've caught them, right? So there's so many things that you could do besides pressing W, and this is now the second time that you've died unnecessarily, right? Now we could look at that and be like, oh, you should have ice blocked, but also, why were you in a position to get your ice block forced?
You shouldn't have been in there.
Right, exactly, exactly. Okay. And I also think that, especially if this is like a strength of yours, which is your icicle accuracy, then you need to be leveraging that more.
Yeah, I regularly get like just solo picks are random.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, here we go again, right? You know?
Yeah.
Like I know we have the benefit of like the replay viewer here, but let me slow it down and give ourselves a freeze frame here. Because hindsight is always 20/20, right? Okay, so what do you do here? Ignore the Kitsune rush. Just for a second, what would you do? I think it's the same wall for me. What do you think?
I mean, yeah.
Like I think you just again do the same thing. I think you just wall off here. You could give the option of pushing the cast on the angle, or you clear the Zarya again, right? I think it's the exact same thing that we said last time. Just do it again. And obviously, in hindsight, that would have been amazing because you would have blocked Kitsune, right? Not on purpose, but good things come to those who make good decisions. You know, you make your own luck, right? Whereas this wall is a little bit late, and it doesn't even block off half the people that you're trying to block off, right?
Yeah.
Not so good. Also, W key.
Yep. That's
right?
gonna. It's gonna.
You're not even going for Zarya here. You're going for Kiri. She's in Kitsune. I would be. Well, what should you be doing? Where should you be right now? Pretty simple.
I mean, for me, I would just chill on the high ground.
Yeah, just right here. This is it. Maybe swing wide here if you want to do something cheeky. But yeah, probably just sit right here. There's no reason. Because you're going to get your ice block for sure. Oh, maybe not. But either way, in that chaos, you get sucked into a grab instead of picking an angle that you like. So you're going to be hitting fewer shots. Holy crap. 4K. All right, let's...
Yeah, that's our Valorant player.
Yeah, a shocker. I do think Sojourn's quite good in this comp. Like, I think if you can, as long as you can consistently build rail, utilize that shift, you're good to go. Now, here we go again. Now, I like this wall. I think it could be a little bit tighter, you know? Just so there's, like, less of an angle for the Sojourn, right?
Yeah.
Just don't W key, right?
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Nade. Here comes the ice block. Ooh, ooh. Oh, you greeted. Okay. Now, I'm not saying... Okay, here's the thing is it's like... I'm not saying never like push and freeze a tank. I do think there are times where that's appropriate, but you know the Zarya's just gonna pop bubbles. You know what I'm saying? Like your freeze isn't gonna be that relevant anyway. So just shoot. You know, just shoot. Only push when you feel like you've like quote unquote earned it. You know that they're a certain HP or they don't have cooldowns to punish. I love that this oriented, like that always happens to me too, where you like cancel your ice block. You're like, ah, well, I don't even know if I meant to do that. You know. I kind of feel like Ram is better than Zarya than Junker Queen is, but maybe that's me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though.
I mean,
yeah, I mean, definitely here I would not be pushing. I think you're still down your. Oh, yeah, I guess everyone's here, but yeah. Okay, let's see. Again, very reasonable if you wanted to wall off Sojourn. Probably not necessary, but you know, always kind of giving ourselves a little bit of thought.
I think maybe if she had like a rail.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Now I like this one a little better if you were to push, because you can walk and freeze, and then as the wall breaks, where are you gonna go?
I mean, towards the wall.
Yeah, right. So you probably won't get your ice block forced. I am going to be a little bit smug about it though, because you go in W key, and then even in like the best case scenario here, you still like do basically nothing with your freeze, right? Like you probably would have just done more shooting icicles there, and then obviously you don't end up ending up on the corner, and so you almost get your ice block forced again. So I don't know, like I think it's going to take more trial and error for us to find out when it's good, when it's bad. If that's a Ramatra, maybe freeze okay, because he's not going to be able to block any of the effects, right? But then also with a Ramatra, you could just be hitting icicles instead. So I don't know. I have got no idea. Reinhardt, I am almost 99% sure that pushing and freezing would be bad. Too easy for him to swing and force, and he's too easy to block with his shield, right? Yeah. Junker Queen, maybe walking and freezing on a good wall is good, right? Very, very easy. She has no way to mitigate it at all. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Diva, probably. I don't think you're going to be able to do that to a Diva, but if you could, probably be okay. What do you think?
I mean, if a Diva gets her boosters forced, it's mostly just Diva and JQ, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Other than that, I think that's just something to kind of keep in mind. Definitely something to test. And the reason this is good too is because this also applies. No comment. This also applies to ranked as well. You know, because you're going to get a big variety of tanks and ranked experiment with this. I think the majority of situations better to hold a close angle than it is to like W key in. And yeah, really no comment on that, Blizzard.
I mean, nothing needs to be said.
Yeah, just there is no Blizzard and bossing say. Okay. Now again, you may or may not need to wall to make this rotation. Let's say you don't wall to make this rotation. We're not going to be a broken record here. That ain't it. Because you got two options, right? You wall now, correct? Or you wall when?
I think now.
Now, right?
Yeah.
Right. One of the biggest mistakes that when we talk, actually, this brings up our conversation earlier with the wall first, wall second. Yeah. One of the biggest mistakes that you could do is wall then push, instead of push then wall. You kind of see what I'm saying?
It's just too early to go on.
It really is. It really is. You're not. You guys weren't even peaking at that point in time. So, the wall placement itself was good. The timing was terrible. You guys were not pushing. Wall's fine. Unlucky. It was all calculated.
That was all on purpose.
Yes. Man, they love that Nano Sojourn. I mean, that's fine. Nothing you can really do about that. The wall at the start was not great though. Okay, so we got about 20 more minutes. Would you like to keep hammering at more Mei, or would you like to look at another hero?
I think towards the end it goes towards Tracer, but there's only like 250 left.
Sure. Do you have another replay code, or do you want to look at more melee? I'm up for whatever. I just want to let you know that if we wanted to look at another hero, we should probably pivot now.
Here, let me see if I can. I think I have some more replay codes.
Sure. It's up to you. We've been kind of cruising, so no pressure.
I think we can keep going on here.
Works for me. Gives us more footage to really decide what our priorities are too. It's another one of those situations where it's just like you wall, but like you're not really going to push here. And it's not just like you can't wall if you're not going to push, right? You can wall just to help you spam better, but also like where are you guys kind of like fighting here? You're not fighting here, really. You're kind of fighting here. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it just kind of does nothing.
Yeah, what I would prefer is to just spam, and at some point, this guy's gonna have to come around here. You know, you guys have a major lead here, right? There's no reason to force anything. At some point, that Zarya or somebody's gonna turn the corner, and then you're gonna have an option about what you want to do with the wall. Here, it can almost bait your team into pushing when really you don't want to push. Icicles are good. Obviously, like way better than shooting tank here. I would still be looking top, honestly. Yeah, for Honor or Cassidy here. Still,
yeah,
100%.
I could just keep them zoned.
Keep zone them. Yeah, 100%. Good wall. Good icicles. I stay Honor though. Stay Honor though. I know you. This is okay. This is where you. I know why you pivoted. This is a call somebody made. Sorry, one. Right. What? So I understand why you do this here, but like I will say, like sometimes it's better to just keep doing your job and let your team focus the target. Because if you look at your team, who on your team can zone this Ana consistently? Lucio? No. Sojourn with 0 rail? No. Moira? No. Queen? No. You're the only one that can do this job. So enable your team by keeping this Ana zoned. You will do more effective damage to the Zarya than if you actually shot the Zarya in the head like 5 times in a row. Right? I'm kind of exaggerating, but yeah, you get the idea. Freeze is just so bad. Just you have to break that habit, you know. Like it wouldn't have changed the result of this fight, but you know, there's gonna be fights where you're gonna double dink that guy, you know, and like, okay, hey, you know, at least we're going to next fight at a slight advantage, or I have more ult. But that freeze is like, it's so bad. It's so bad.
I hate it.
It's so disappointing, yeah. Good. I think it's fine to peek here. There's like a pretty decent chance. This wall is good too. So this is kind of funny about the wall. Like, what does this wall actually do? It allows you to shoot the Zarya, obviously, but what else does it do?
I was thinking it slows down their Zarya to bubble their backline.
Yeah, exactly. It's just you're just being an ass is what you're doing. You're just being a giant annoying like turd here. Like, this is good.
That's my job on man.
Right, this is what you do. You just split people up and cause chaos. Now, what else could you do with this wall here? Think very carefully. And this is something that we haven't talked about yet with wall. What else does wall provide to you personally?
I mean, I guess I could wall the Zarya off, or wall our like.
Think selfishly.
Rush into them.
Watch this.
Yeah.
There you go. Wall yourself up. It's not something that you always need to do. You're definitely hesitant here because it's not like, oh, it's the greatest thing in the history of the universe, but it's just
not a play I would make. Like, sure. Even if I thought of it.
Why not? Why not? I'm curious. I'm not saying it's necessarily the best play here, but I'm curious.
I just don't really like that angle.
Sure.
And I don't think I would do as much. Like, this Zarya, I think, has no charge and is gonna go straight back to their team.
Sure.
They're not gonna walk on me.
Fair enough. All right. Fair enough. And I do agree that that's terrible. Unfortunate. Freeze is terrible. Gentle reminder. It's weird, but in a way, this Blizzard kind of like. I look at this Blizzard as more as like I'm creating space Blizzard, if that makes any sense, you know. And like if I don't Blizzard here, I probably die. So it's not the end of the world.
Troll face.
You just got completely RKO'd, that's all. Could have been a little bit smarter with you. Wait a second. I want to see this. I think you are jumping a little bit. It's kind of unrelated to you dying here, but it's maybe something to kind of keep an eye on. Okay. So May. What are some things that you need to practice with the hero?
I think timing on the May wall.
Timing on May wall. Can my team push? Is my team engaged / is the enemy team engaging? Sure. What else?
I think freeze, left click is some ass. Stop
Yep.
using that.
Care with
Very
the
situational.
of wall push. M1 in general, just butt cheeks. Right. Anything else? Those were definitely the main two, I think.
Yeah.
I think maybe we can just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Practice those things. Any questions before we move on to tracker?
No, not really.
Okay, let's take a look. I think Trace is pretty reasonable versus this. You know, you got a pretty squishy backline working with your monkey. It's fine. I don't. My only problem here is like, here, you need to be staged for backline, right? Are you staged from backline here? Yeah, kind of, right? So what's this? What happened here? Do you remember?
I think someone probably called something. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. But obviously, like, you need to be here. Okay, there you go. Now it's kind of weird, the timing of this all. You're like Moira just like explodes with coal, so you go out really hard, but your Winston isn't engaged yet. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's fine. Somebody has to take charge before you do, because you're too valuable to go first, really. You want to go when they're already distracted, right? So you can like clean up the kills. Just Moira problems. And get healed on anything that's not on top of your tank. Oh, I thought for sure she was cooked. Nice. Now, here's a small little thing that you need to be careful with. This actually goes into our May issue. Your job is not to focus these guys. Almost ever. Especially when you don't have recall, okay? You tell me why. Because again, it's the target focus, right? Everybody's calling this target, this target, this target, this target. When you have an angle or a flank, you should almost never abandon that angle or flank unless you see somebody who's 1 HP that needs to be finished off, right? Because for you to kill the Sojourn, what's it going to cost you?
I mean, probably
flinks, right?
Yeah.
It's also going to cost you your attention as well. And why is that bad? Look at this from this Cassidy's perspective.
I mean, he's just gonna be free.
Right. I mean, not only that, but you have your back to him and the Ana. That's terrifying. Right?
Yeah.
The reason why you're on the angle or flank as a tracer is not just because you can and it's powerful, but also because you can see everything, right? When you're here, you could duel this guy. You can see him. You can blink away and grab the Mega or whatever. But here, you're going zooming in on this Zarya and Sojourn, turning your back to your real threats. Hold the angle. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. If that's a 1 HP target that you need to finish off, like that Sojourn was, I get it. But even then, you need your recall to be able to do that. Let's put it this way. If you didn't have Ice Block as Mei, how aggressively do you play? How aggressively do you move? You know?
Yeah.
When you don't have Ice Block, when you don't have your recall here, you should die here. And there it is, right? If you'd simply held the angle and shot, I think this fight probably is lost either way. But at the very least, you can get out, grab the Mega, go back in, because the Mega's on your flank. You go here, you're done. It's over for you. It's over. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like one of the things that's a little bit more specific to team play, but just keep it in mind regardless. It's an important skill. Remember, you don't have to be on the same target for you to be on the same target. Okay. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. Wait, did they almost C9? No, I'm just seeing things.
The voices.
The voices, yeah. They're coming again. Okay. You're trolling. Respectfully, but you're trolling. You're tanking. You see? Yeah. I don't care if you're up one. Let your Winston go in first. Easily doubles your chance of getting a stick if you let somebody else distract first. Easily. And it also means that you don't have to immediately recall, right? So your Winston goes in, you got to recall out, now you have 0 blinks. Now I think this fight's probably won. Yeah, I think you guys are fine. But 2 little details that are worth putting attention into. We still have 10 minutes. Would you like to look at another code? Look at a few more fights?
Let me see. I think I have a code. Let me find another tracer. I think I have one on New Queen Street here. Yep.
Okay.
That one work?
Looks seems to be okay.
All right.
Traveling to New Queen Street, ready for battle.
So we looked at a little bit of the. Did you want to look at the tracer here or the Genji or?
I think I'm on tracer the whole thing.
Okay.
I think I.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
very very brief Genji face. Okay. Yeah. So a little bit of tank timing, a little bit of quote unquote target focus. Is this a scrim as well?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a game, I think. Yeah, this is
Ah,
game.
okay. I was gonna say this is slightly different here.
Yeah, no scrim code.
Is your timing good here?
I mean, it's fine to me.
Yeah, I mean your queen is shooting people, so yes. Not everything is going to be a dive tank with Tracer, right? So
Yeah.
you have to take your timing where you can give it. The only problem I have here is that this distance feels terrible. If you're ever in a situation where like the back line is like in these horrible angles where you're like, I'm like a trillion miles away, remember you could leverage your mobility by taking an angle to where they can't see. So for example here, you could just, I know this sounds like heresy, but you could just shoot tank from here.
Mm-hmm.
You could just shoot DPS from here, make these guys drop to PQ, and then you're on them instead. You kind of see what I'm saying? So if the backline is ever completely inaccessible or like in a terrible spot, take another off angle and shoot the tank in the butt. It's still valuable, right? It's still valuable. The main strength of Tracer is not her ability to assassinate squishies, it's her mobility and her ability to shoot anybody. Usually you want to shoot squishies. That's just the rule of Overwatch 2. But you can also leverage that mobility to take an angle to shoot, you know, a tank even. Because like here, it's like your distraction is essentially 1-for-1, Brig for Tracer. That's like not bad, but it's also not good either, right? I want 1 for 1.25. I want that Ana having to give you attention. I want the Cassidy getting you attention. Or I want you winning the 1v1 versus Brig, but obviously that wasn't possible because of where you were fighting. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here. Just remember, you are tanking a little bit again. So like I understand they're low, but like as soon as you don't secure the kill here, you need to probably move back towards your team because now you're the one going first. Here comes recall, and now your Junker Queen is engaged and you don't have your recall. So it's something that's very difficult to do mid fight, but always try to always do it whenever you can. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Just a hair off, because I promise you. Wait, let's wait 3 seconds. So 3 seconds. There you go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Pulse bomb.
Yeah.
Right? Literally 3 seconds. Not even 3 seconds. 2 seconds would have been fine. And here's your pulse bomb opportunity. Cassidy, Brig, Ana, these guys don't give jack about what you're doing right now. They're not scared of you at all. They're not thinking about you at all. There's a Junker Queen in the middle of them. There's your opportunity, right? Something that really every Tracer needs to work at, but it's so important. Thank you for not recalling, at least though. Pulse recall, everybody does it.
I hate that.
It's fine, it's good. That was very important that you didn't do that. But no pulse, no win. GG's. I probably would just die. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's keep going. Woo. Oh, that sucks. I mean, you just got poked out. I don't even think you were trying to go early. You just got smoked. So, it happens. Hey, calculated. All right. Okay. I mean, I get it. I get it. I know the push macro, you know what I'm saying? So like, I understand.
Yeah,
I get it. Good use of cover. Oh my days. Nice! The clutchest of performances. Well done. Trying to get it before the cap.
yeah,
Understandable.
we just gotta stop the cap.
Yeah, I gotcha. Good, they're shooting your queen, so you start shooting too. And like again, this is another one of those situations where it's like, okay, you're standing on cart, which isn't great, but you have an off angle from your tank. It's whatever. And right now, if you look at their backline, you know, what are you supposed to do versus the backline right now? You know?
I mean, I'm not gonna be able to.
Right, so just shoot tank. This is the same exact circumstance that we have here. Take an angle, your tank is here, you're here, shoot tank. It's fine. Force primal, maybe even consider pulsing primal. Oh, maybe not, he just dies. Wow, that guy melted, holy crap. I thought it was Discord that melted tanks. It was fake news all along. Nice. Good. Kind of zooming through this because we only have a few more minutes and I would like to get as much footage installed, downloaded, so that I can give you like a little bit more accurate feedback on your tracer.
Yeah.
If you feel like if you have a question or something I'm zooming past, just holler. Like, you know, I have a question for you, like what the heck is wrong with you? No, I'm just kidding. This is obviously like a good target. It's just, yeah, it needs to hit, right? I will say as well, I wouldn't stick Monkey at this HP. I would try to whittle him down just a little bit further. Remember the way that the pulse arm is calculated? If you could whittle him even down to like 400, or 380, the impact of the armor is going to be significantly reduced. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So it's not like, oh, if he has 5 armor, he gets the full armor reduction. That's not how it works anymore. If you whittle him down, then he's going to be able to chunk. So obviously the main thing is that you missed him here, but even this, he's still going to be able to probably get out, or at least he has a higher chance to. You kind of see what I'm saying? Now, one other thing here too is if you have pulse bomb here, especially with 2 on card here, I guess you are really the only one on card here. Okay, I was gonna say I would love for you to not have to be on card if you're the one with the pulse, but I guess there's nobody else really here. Get that cast. Nice. Good angle here. Oh my gosh, you got absolutely rolled.
I forgot. Brig does damage.
Yeah, well also I think you forgot that you weren't full HP, I think.
Yeah.
Under beat. There's the midi here.
I do that pretty regularly,
Yeah.
to be honest. Like,
It's hard because a lot of times you get healed under it, but you didn't there, so.
Well, I'll take like a tiny tick of damage, and then I'll just be just barely one shot on Tracer.
Yeah. Okay, so Tracer.
Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing from the few minutes that we had a Tracer? I think enough to at least get an idea. What are you seeing?
I think it's once again the timing.
Don't
timing with the team
yourself, whether on dive tank or not, ranked or not. It's important. And it's important in rank too, right? Like you gotta use your eyeballs before you go. Okay, anything else? That was the big one. That may have been the main one, actually. I guess there was like the hold the angle one, like not focusing the same target if it was gonna cost you your life, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know if that only happened once. I'd hate to like throw that in there. It feels so like cheesy. Just take the one thing and work at it, to be honest with you. Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, keep me updated with how practice goes then.